Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your humble host, Say About Children TV. Back with a brand new video. I got 6 stories for you tonight, and I just made an intro. It's kind of bootleg intro. I made an intro, and I'm going to make the official intro on there by Monday. But here's the intro. Share and subscribe to my channel, Say About Children TV. Welcome to Say About Children TV. Alright, do just that. Let's begin with our stories. But before you get started, please make sure you subscribe on my second channel, which is Crime Time. I would have been over there yesterday, which was Friday. I've just been lacking, lazy, and I'm trying to bottle up some stories to do on that channel. So leave me some suggestions down below what should I do on that channel. Here's our story for the night, our 6 stories. 9/17/2022. Bus driver allegedly kidnaps a middle schooler. That's out of Louisiana. Also from out of Louisiana, the second story. Franklin County school bus driver is arrested for DUI while transporting 40 kids. I want to talk about that story. A 3-year-old girl is among 23 people shot in Chicago since this Friday. A 10-year-old boy is wounded in Burnside drive-by shooting, and bullet grazes the head of a 3-year-old girl in Lawndale. We'll talk about that. And our last story we're going to talk about is 8-year-old boy safe after Cheltenham carjacking. So we have a lot of crazy stories tonight. I just don't know. We got a lot of crazy stories to talk about tonight. And let's get started with our first story. Look up the article. Just give me a minute. So our first story is out of Busley, Louisiana. Bus driver is accused of kidnapping student on his route and claimed he was in love with 13-year-old girl. And this is his picture. His name is Christopher Taplin. And he just turned himself in a little day ago. This is roughly a new story. Here we go. A bus driver who allegedly kept a student on the bus for too long and told her he loved her before taking her to school turned himself in Tuesday evening. So that was roughly like 4 days ago. According to the Boston Police Department, bus driver Christopher Taplin, who was 33 years old, was supposed to deliver a 13-year-old middle school student to school Monday morning. Instead, Taplin let other students off and kept her on the bus well after he was supposed to drop her off. Officers said Taplin told the student he loved her while she was held on the bus alone. then dropped her off at Wellesley Middle School. Wellesley police said on Wednesday that Taplin had also left a voice message with the girl's family declaring he loved her and said he'd been watching her since she started attending middle school. Boise High School student Layla Green isn't much older than the victim. Originally, I was scared for the little girl to be kidnapped like that. The last one on the bus. I would hate to be the last one on the bus, and you wouldn't expect that and expect more out of people, especially a grown man, Green said. Boise Police Chief Joan Leforks said the department is speaking with two other families who are close with Taplin through other students on his bus route. The incident has left many people in shock as Taplin was very well liked in the community. The department said in a statement Wednesday, Green said she knows people who rode on his bus. A lot of my teammates and classmates rode his bus, and they wouldn't expect that from him. They were really shocked about it, and it goes to show you that you don't know what a person's intentions are. You will never know. Taplin is facing charges of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and stalking a juvenile. Police said Taplin operated a bus for the West Baton Rouge school system, but did not work directly for the school system. He was fired from the bus service he worked for. If anyone has information regarding Taplin or the investigation, the BPD encouraged them to call the department. Before I give my input on the story, here's the article. I'm at the video. Here's the video. There's an ad. Let's wait to this ad.
A twisted profession of love in West Baton Rouge Parish put a school bus driver in jail.
Police say this man, Christopher Taplin, kept a 13-year-old on his bus well past her stop. When they were alone, that's when things took a creepy turn. That is not all. Issues Best Casualty live in Bruley with the rest of the story.
Michael Sylvia, those who know him say this is completely out of character for the bus driver. And we're told tonight the victim in this case is okay after this harrowing experience. Parents and students on the west side are in shock tonight after news of a well-known bus driver trying to kidnap a student broke. 33-year-old Christopher Taplin has been booked with kidnapping and stalking a 13-year-old girl who was a regular on his bus route. Police say Taplin let everyone off the bus except the girl and held her captive as he professed his love for her. And police say it was all recorded. Bruley High School student Layla Green isn't much older than the victim.
Originally, I was scared for a little girl to be kidnapped like that. The last one on the bus. I would hate to be the last one on the bus. And you wouldn't expect that. And I expect more out of people, especially a grown man.
As did most of the community. According to Bruley PD, Taplin was well known and liked around town. Green says she knows people who rode on his bus.
A lot of my teammates and my classmates rode his bus, and they wouldn't expect that from him. They were really shocked about it. And that just goes to show you that you don't know what a person's intentions are. Like, you will never know.
Taplin told the victim he'd been watching her since she started middle school, even going so far as to call her family to tell them he was in love with their daughter.
I'm pretty sure that little girl would have never guessed that her bus driver, someone she trusts to get her back and forth to school, would ever think of something or preyed on her in that kind of way.
Now, Taplin wasn't directly employed by the school district, but he has been fired from the bus company that he drove for. In Bruley, Bess Casserly, WBRZ News 2.
I don't know if I get my iPad. Let me charge this. Charge my laptop. Okay. Number one, I want to talk directly to the parent. First of all, before I do that, let me say this to this bus driver who thought that he could abuse his power with a minor. Number one, every school bus in America have what we call cameras, video. So what did you think you was gonna do? And did you think that you was gonna get away with soliciting a child? I'm just saying. The bus drivers do not think nowadays. They think because they have a bus full of students that they could abuse the power. You gotta be careful who you let do these bus routes. You gotta be careful. Background checks is important. And obviously the district ain't do a great job doing the background check. Okay. Because it could have been worse. 10 times worse. He could have did anything to this child who was a minor and he's 33 years old preying on a child. You see what I'm saying? So there's a problem somewhere. And obviously you have a twisted and sick mind.
I'm glad I really ain't go out today because I just wanted to cool off before I go home anyway.
On this channel, we advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves, and we shame and we expose the people who commit crimes against our children. That's what this channel is for. This man should never been able to drive for public schools. He should never been able to drive public school buses because what he did was a crime. And the fact that he had the nerves to call the victim's mother and father to ask if he can be in love with a minor, with their child. You gotta be careful. You got a lot of sick people that you gotta be careful. Um, you gotta be careful, and that's why you don't see a lot of parents allowing their children to take public transportation, such as school buses, the train, metro, because anything can happen in public transportation nowadays. It's not safe. It's not. You have a lot of creeps, perverts. You have a lot of people out here who are preying on your children. You gotta be 10 toes down. You gotta be careful. These are victims. You got bus drivers preying on children. That is the most disgusting thing you can do as a human being. And the sad thing is, this driver is gonna make up an excuse once it's court time come on. Once his court appearance hit the fan. Once he go to trial, they're gonna make every excuse in the book. They come up with these excuses until why they did something. It should not be. First of all, you shouldn't come up with a lesson. What you should come up with is a why and what could you have done differently. There's always should be a why. Why would you do this? And this is the thing. You abuse your authority as a school bus driver. You broken not only the law, but you broken the school district policy. You broken the policy. You think, you know what I'm saying, jail time is significant. You know how much fines you finna be paying to the district, to that school. The parent probably gonna be suing. The school bus company is probably gonna be suing. You want hot water for this. This ain't okay. And parents, please think twice. You know what I'm saying? Before letting your children ride a school bus in dangerous places, especially in Louisiana. I'm sorry. Think twice. Because in certain places, you have certain creeps. And obviously, this bus driver is a creep. He ain't care about nobody but himself. And that's why you should never, ever be comfortable letting your children ride a school bus unless you do a thorough background on that driver. unless you look up that driver's history. Sometimes you just got to look up people's history. And like, comment, subscribe on this particular story. I have another story about a school bus driver that's coming out of Louisiana. And this time, it's a female driver. And guess what she was arrested for? She was arrested for DUI on a school bus. 40 kids on the bus. Gotta be careful. Let's go to our next story. But yeah, by the way, this story was out of Louisiana, so Louisiana takes that area. Franklin County bus driver. Franklin County school bus driver is arrested and accused of DUI with 40 kids on board. Franklin County takes it in. A Franklin County school bus driver was arrested Friday and accused of driving under the influence with 40 kids on board, according to news reports. The driver, Rhonda Barksdale, was charged with 40 counts of reckless endangerment, one for each child she was transporting. A motorist who was driving behind the bus filmed Barksdale swerving from one shoulder to the other on a two-lane road. A second video shows a motorist stopping in front of the bus and getting on board. According to WAFF, the motorist boarded the bus thinking Barksdale was having a medical emergency. When law enforcement arrived, they administered a sobriety test, which Barksdale failed, according to authorities. Barksdale was then arrested on the scene. None of the students were injured. Okay. Number one, let's give that motorist a thank you and praise him for what he did. It was called heroism. Heroic. Because, let me tell you this. Just imagine that motorist just kept going. That bus, God forbid, would have been on the side in the ditch. This is the second story today I did about school bus drivers. This driver transported 40 kids. 40 kids. And this is the thing. If she was under the influence, she must have went to work under the influence. And you mean to tell me nobody at the bus station knew that she looked under the influence? Something ain't right. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we really doing? Your job as a driver, a school bus driver, is to protect children and get them from point A to B and from point B to A. Not to be swerving over the road, not to be driving heroic in traffic, not to be swerving like a bat out of hell, not to be driving like you lost. You know what I'm saying? Like you fleeing from the police. There's no need to be driving like that. could have killed people. She could have killed people, and she needs to be held accountable for her actions. And she charged with 6 counts of. Let me go back to it. So she's driving under the influence with 40 kids on the bus. Let's see. So she was charged Rhonda Burkstill, who should have never been employed as a bus driver in the first place because obviously she's an alcoholic, charged with 40 counts of reckless endangerment. 40 counts of reckless endangerment, as if a man, a school bus driver, a black man, or a white man had drove that bus, it would have been more than 40 counts of reckless endangerment. I'm just saying. It would have been 40 counts of reckless endangerment, DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, traffic violations. The list goes on and on and on. Women, I'm sorry to say this, I really we don't get the same amount of time as men get. And this is the problem with America. We got it, men, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be look at as the devil, okay? Because you have women out here who are committing the same type of crimes as men and are getting away with murder. This driver should have been charged with more than 40 counts of reckless endangerment. She shouldn't be charged more than 40 counts of reckless endangerment. She should be charged with 40 other traffic violations. She could have killed innocent children. And I'm assuming she was transporting either middle school students, preschool students, high school students, or elementary students. But this is why you got to be careful when putting your children on a public school bus. A lot of things happen on these school buses that don't come out and sit behind closed doors. Now again, I'm telling you about two school bus drivers who have committed different felony crimes. That right there should automatically tell you that I would not want my children on a school bus. I would be safe driving them to school. I would be safe picking them up from school because things like this can happen. It's the first time a school bus driver got in trouble with the law. It's my first time reporting on it. It's a dangerous thing to be a school bus driver and commit a felony because that's not going to look good on your record as a school bus driver. And this driver should be ashamed of herself for putting children's lives at risk. Driving a school bus drunk. Are you kidding me? And everybody who saw this woman come in drunk as hell at that bus station needs to be investigated. Because something ain't right. I'm sorry. It's just not. Somebody knew at that station that she was heavily intoxicated. Heavily drunk, I meant. Under the influence of alcohol. Think about this. I want to talk to all the bus drivers in all 50 states, countries, foreign cities, foreign states. You are a bus driver for one reason and one reason only. You are a bus driver for one reason and one reason only. Because that is your profession. which means you have a duty to transport children back and forth from school. You don't have the right to come to work drunk when you feel like it, or each and every day. You don't have the right to operate a school bus while drunk. You don't have the right to go to work as a school bus driver drunk, because you can lose your license. You can go to jail. You can get fined. You can get so many repercussions that it's not funny. You're putting children's lives at risk, and you're putting your own self at risk, because I'm pretty sure that your loved ones don't want to see you dead, nor as those children loved ones don't want to see their loved ones dead or injured because of your negligence, which you should be charged with negligence operations, which means you negligently operated a school bus. 40 counts for each student you neglected. And it's just that simple. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Subscribe to my content channel and subscribe to this channel. It'll be helpful. Okay. 3-year-old girl is among 23 people shot in Chicago since Friday evening. A 3-year-old girl is among at least 23 people shot throughout Chicago since Friday evening in a brutal start to the weekend that so far has seen one homicide. The girl was one of at least 4 minors shot in Chicago so far this weekend, and 20 minors shot overall in the past week. She was a passenger in the back seat of a vehicle about 11 p.m. in the 4200 block of West Cermak Road when gunfire shattered the back window and grazed her head. According to Chicago police, she was taken to Stroger Hospital, where she was listed in good condition. Officials said hours earlier, a 10-year-old boy was wounded in a drive-by shooting Friday night in Burnside on the south side. The boy was walking with his father and another child when someone inside a red car fired shots about 8:35 p.m. in 1000 block of East 93rd Street. Police said his father drove him to the Cormer Children's Hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg, police said. Friday afternoon, a boy 16 was inside a vehicle in the 3000 block of West Wellington Avenue when he was shot in the leg. Police said he was taken to the Illinois Masonic Medical Center where he was listed in good condition. Earlier Saturday, another 16-year-old boy was dropped off at Holy Cross Hospital about 12:20 a.m. with a gunshot wound to his left leg. Police said he was listed in good condition. The fatal shooting happened about 12:30 a.m. in Avondale on the northwest side. A man, 25, was driving a car in the 2900 block of West Diversey Avenue when someone in a white Jeep shot him, according to police. The man drove to St. Mary and went to the medical center with a gunshot wound on his back. Police said he was pronounced dead at the hospital. And in other burst of gun violence, 2 men were wounded in separate shootings within a mile of each other in the loop as slowly started on town from Mexico to the police day. Celebrations about 1 a.m. A man 32 got into a fight with another man in a black Southwestern Drive. Once one in a rear sedan put out in the open fire, according to police. 32-year-old was shot in the back and taken to Northwestern Medical Hospital in good condition. Police said meanwhile, a 27-year-old man was walking on the sidewalk about a mile away and on the east record when a group of people walked up and started competing. Police said someone in the group ran from out a run. Wounded in the head was in a condition. Police said two men were shot in a drive-by attack during a party in the back of the Yards neighborhood in Southside. The man, 32 and 22, was standing outside among a group of people about 1 a.m. and the 4 a.m. block of South Justin Street. When a black SUV drove by and son sat up and fired. They said the older man was struck in the right shoulder and back. He was at the Sugar Hospital with his condition was stabilized. They said the younger man was shot in the lower leg and taken to the University of Chicago, where his condition was also stabilized. The people were shot at a funeral Saturday afternoon in Brownsville on the south side, according to officials. The shooting happened this afternoon in the Christian Temple local church, 3712 St. Perry Avenue. Paramedics found 3 men with gunshot wounds according to Chicago Fire Department spokesperson Ray Merritt. Police said the men 35, 29, and 26 were another street when they were approached by a black Cadillac and saw on the side open fire. They were taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center where the police said they were in good condition. At least 11 others were wounded in shootings throughout Chicago since Friday evening. These crimes in Chicago been outrageous from the early 90s, and I'm gonna tell you why. The gangs are taking over the communities of Chicago. They're taking over the corners, the streets, the blocks, the neighborhoods, and committing all these crimes and then dragging the youth into what they are affiliated with. Now, if you did not know, next year, on the 1st of January, on the January 1st, 2023, there's going to be a purge in Chicago where the city of Chicago is going to be releasing inmates from prisons and jails due to the high crime capacity. And then if a crime happens, the police basically going to come and say, get off the property or issue tickets. And it just got that bad that that's what they have to turn to get control of Chicago. I don't understand why anyone in a great mind will still be living in Chicago. I mean, Chicago, it's a war zone. It's dangerous. I mean, if you can't go outside, sit on the porch, walk around without gunfire being sounded out in nearby streets, nearby alleys, nearby corners, and children can't even go outside and their backyard stuff like that because you have people who think that gun violence is the answer, and it's not, because you're not only affecting other people's lives, but you're not affecting your life. I think that if you get the guns off the streets in these neighborhoods of Chicago, and you get them out of the hands of the evil, then we won't have to worry about so many people being killed, wounded, injured, paralyzed, all of that. You know, it starts with Chicago. That's what it starts with. It starts with the people. So the people got to change. Okay? The people of Chicago have to make change. There's too many bloodshed, tears going on right now in Chicago each and every day. I actually watched this YouTuber, his channel called Bloody Chicago, and he talks about all the crime that happens in Chicago. And it's sad that It's like a book. Like if you just sit in Chicago for the next 4 days, you can basically make a book within the 4 days of all the crimes that's happening throughout Chicago. It's dangerous. I urge you, if you live in Chicago and you are tired of the violence, the best thing for you to do is to leave Chicago and move to a better state or city that it's not a crime infested environment because nobody should be in a fear of their life. Nobody should have to worry about if they're going to get shot even out the front door or back door. So let's just think about that for a second. Let them subscribe. So this story is also out of Chicago, and this is the story was turned out with the child got shot with his father and the child that was walking by. So a 10-year-old boy was wounded in Burnside drive-by shooting. The boy was walking with his father and another child when someone inside a red car fired shots Friday in the 1000 block of East Beach. A 10-year-old boy was wounded in a drive-by shooting Friday night in Burnside on the south side. The boy was walking with his father and another child when someone inside a red car fired shots about 8:35 p.m. in the 1000 block of East 93rd Street, Chicago police said. His father drove him to the corner children. His father drove him to the Carmer Children's Hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg, he said. No arrests were made. Area 2 detectives are investigating. I love how cowards will go around, cause hell in the neighborhood, shoot at innocent people, and then speed away in a vehicle and go hide. So now we know what type of person you are. You are a person that don't care about humanity. If you goes around and shoot at innocent people, then speeds away and go and hide and have the police come looking for you, because you so cowardly you can't return yourself in. Somebody know what happened. And secondly, there should be no reason why anybody should be shooting at children walking down the street. That don't make sense. Who does that? I mean, Chicago just got out of hand within the past decades. And it needs to be a change. The mayor needs to make a change because if not, it's not going to be looking good for Chicago. The mayor, I think her name was Lightfoot, something like that. I think she needs. This is a plan right here. Get the army out there, the military, SWAT, undercover police, the police, and start knocking on doors and recovering guns, recover illegal firearms, seize them, and make arrests. The rest, as long as you make arrests, the crime will go down. Take the guns off the streets, take the people involved in these crimes off the streets, start giving them short sentences, let it get out of prison and commit more crimes. You won't have that problem if you give people who commit heinous crimes a life sentence without parole. You won't have that problem. Okay? Like, comment, subscribe. We're on our last story. Hold on. There are two more stories. One for two more stories. And we're back in Chicago once again. This time we have a bullet grazes a head of a 3-year-old girl in Lawndale, Houston Express. And next to it, that at Chicago too. A 3-year-old girl was grazed by gunfire Friday night in the Lawndale neighborhood on the west side. The girl was a passenger in the back seat of a vehicle about 11 p.m. in the 4200 block of West Kermit Road when gunfire shattered in the back window and grazed her head, according to Chicago police. She was taken to Stroger Hospital, which was listed in good condition, officials said. No one was in custody. A person. All I'm gonna say to whoever pulled that trigger, how are you sleeping tonight knowing that you shot a 3-year-old girl straight in the head? I mean, how are you sleeping tonight? Because I sure would not be. I would toss and turn in the bed. I don't understand how you go around and mess up people's lives and just shoot at innocent people and think that it's just okay and think that you can just run from the law. You're going to get caught. You're going to get the time. And whatever time you get, you deserve it. So think about that. You just ruin the community. But it's just stupid. It goes on and shoot at children. It's about the second child I reported on being shot. Nope, the third. Two stories out of Chicago with 3 different children being shot. First, we had a 3-year-old shot, right along with 22 others. Then we have a 10-year-old who was shot. And then we have another 3-year-old who was shot. So you just run after children now, just targeting children. I mean, that's crazy. Come on, Chicago. Last story. A 50 back in Chicago. 8-year-old boy is safe after Ham carjacking. An 8-year-old boy is safe after further police investigation determined he wasn't taken during a carjacking Friday event in Chatham on the south side. Police initially said the boy was sitting inside a Kia on the 8,000 block of South Ellis Avenue when someone walked in about 4:50 p.m. and drove away with him inside. The department announced today that no child was in the vehicle after further investigation, adding that the boy was safe and with relatives. Adding number, air detectives are investigating. I don't understand why we're going around shooting at kids, stealing vehicles with kids inside of it, or attempting to steal a vehicle with a child inside of it. I mean, it's understand. Secondly, Lightfoot urges, the mayor of Chicago urges this quotes. Respectful celebrations following chaotic night of Mexican Independence Day robbery. What Lightfoot need to urge is more safety in the community, okay, and more people being locked up. Because obviously, people are walking around with guns and shooting at innocent people. And you all sorts of things to innocent people. So at this point, she needs to do more for the community of Chicago. Like, comment, subscribe, share, 24/7 traditional, so you'll be notified every single time I drop a video. Subscribe to this Facebook page right here. This is my Facebook page. Also subscribe to my music channel on Facebook. It's called Man Sings. That is ManManSings. Man Sings. I go on that channel and I normally sing. I haven't been on that channel in a minute. I'll be back on that channel soon. Um, Over to my second channel on YouTube, to Crime Time. Subscribe over there. Speaking of that channel, on Monday, I'm gonna be on that channel. I'm gonna be talking about death row inmates. I'll do a death row inmate story on that channel on Monday. But please make sure you notification. Please make sure you are subscribed on all platforms, all on my platforms, and subscribing on that. You know what I'm saying? Share on my platforms. Be notified when I drop more videos like this. I'll see you guys tomorrow on this channel again. Um, I'm gonna try to do it more earlier, maybe about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But thank you guys so much for watching, and always remember to share the love. Peace.